The gospel seems to favor the astute and the wicked servant, right? And come to think of it, why is this steward, who is also a servant, so astute in cheating even his own master? And today, this is, well, I remember when I was studying, still in the elementary, I don't know if you still have this. There are a lot of posters in the classroom, and one of the posters goes like this: honesty is, oh, you see, you still have this, right? But my classmates told me, Francis, that's passe. Nobody believes in that anymore. We just say it. Say, what should be the new normal? You know what they told me? Honesty is the start of bankruptcy. At the time, I didn't understand that, you know. I was, my driver's not around, so I took a cab. And, and I was talking about somebody who was so good, you know, a lawyer who never became rich because he kept on helping the poor. And then I said, you see, he's a simple lawyer. He's very bright. He can have a very expensive law office, but he cannot do that because he kept on helping those who have very, very poor and they don't have the money to pay him off. Then he said, ay, ganun ho talaga. Pag mabait ka, hindi ka yayaman. Oh my God, sabi ko. I think that is not precise. It all depends on God's blessing. And here it's clear, how can you be trusted? So, let's ask ourselves, what is our motivation for being astute like the steward? What drove him to that? Here it said because he will lose his stewardship. But before that, he was already so astute. And he cheated even his own master. So what is the motivation? What inspires him to do this? A microphone almost fell. So these are things we have to look into. Why? What is our motivation? Because if I tell you over and over again, and you don't get inspired by this, of being honest, you will say, yeah, even Jesus commended the children of this world, the dishonest steward, for acting prudently about the future. So this is what we get. And oftentimes we are told many things, the what, but how do you get motivated into doing it? That is the big problem for everybody. Be you priest, cardinal, pope, ordinary worker, businessman, businesswoman, all of us always ask, what motivates me to do this? The first reading talks about the poor, and Amos is a terrorist prophet because he really talks to you straight to your face. Nagpapahiya siya. That is the kind of prophet Amos was. And he told us about the poor. You know, there are three ways of looking at the poor. When I talk of poverty here, I do not only talk of material poverty. I also talk of moral poverty and emotional poverty. I've been a priest for many years, 41 years now. And because of the digital platforms that we have, I also made that my apostolate. So I have the texting, I have the email, I have the Facebook and the Messenger and the Viber and so many others, WhatsApp. You know it, I have it, applications in my convergent equipment. And you know, most of the texts I get are all about broken-hearted men and women. Young and old. Matanda, bata, may ngipin o wala. I was so surprised by that. A woman who, before she died, texted me. She says, Father, I will die with a heavy heart, complaining about his children. She even said, when she was younger, so you know, ito ganyan, pag tumatanda, lahat na lang nakaraan, binubugawas mo, sabi nga sa Tagalog. So when she was about 55 years old, and she can even remember the date. She went to the States, and she had a very bright son who was a doctor, an expert. So they were eating. There were a lot of people, friends of the doctor, and she lovingly put her arms around the arm of her child and tried to kiss him. And then she told this in Tagalog, "Father, imagine, para siya napako, bigla yung inalis, tinulak ako ng konti." So, why? What did he say? "Ma'am, I'm no more a kid." Eh, sabi ko, doktor na siya, di ba? So she said, I just kept quiet and ate. But they don't know my needs for appreciation of what I have done for them. Of course, I never thought of that. Uh, just caressing your son and putting your arm around his arm, and they don't like that. And then another woman who was with her also told me, "Ako ganun din." So this is about the old people, but how about the younger people? So there's so much poverty emotionally, not only financially, but financially, emotionally, they come together. Allow me to give another example. It's about being friends. Supposing you like a girl or a girl likes a boy, that you are not yet boyfriends. And then you learn through the reliable grapevine, "Uy, nag-break na sila." What do you usually do? Use that para makapenetrate ka because they are weak. They are poor. They're emotionally bankrupt. These are the things that we do. We play games. So the first attitude we have about the poor is, I don't care. Bahala siya sa buhay niya. Wala akong pakialam sa kanya. I'm okay. They're not okay. That's okay. That's the first. The second is, as I said, we abuse the weak and the poor. We enslave them. We manipulate them. We use them. Financially, psychologically, physically. So, these are the examples. You try to penetrate the person because you're weak. You try to cheat them. You are dishonest in your motivation for them. Of course, the third is the most noble. You want to help the person, to assist the person. Sometimes, istorbo talaga. For example, if I get young, there are no more kids, they're teenagers, texting you and messaging, so many messages, sometimes you think, this is crazy. But it's not crazy. Pope Francis said, all of us are burdens, but if you find somebody who needs your help, and you have the ability to lift your arms, to lift your fingers and carry part of their burden, you make them happier. So I think the main motivation of all these things, like, why do we have to be honest? Why do we have to be trustworthy? What is our motivation? When everybody seems not to be trustworthy. When everybody seems to be lying every day with their hearts out. I will not get what I'm getting now. If I, there you go. So what the three readings tells us, the second reading tells us explicitly, but you have to pray. Pray for what? Beg again from God? No. Pray for each other and for yourself to be able to feel the love of Christ for you. And the motivation of love is that which makes you nearer to helping others who need your help. Because there's so many poor people in this world, in our country, even in your own families. But sometimes you don't notice that because you feel, I'm already burdened, I already have much problem, so on and so on. But you do not dare to really see and understand and feel. So the second reading is the key to the first and the third reading, even in the gospel. Because in the gospel, we are told that we are stewards of all the resources that God created in this world. And the wise steward looks at the future. So if only we can be wise or wiser by being trustworthy and not being dishonest, the best future we can think of is the end of our lives. We will all die, but we have to go back to the history of who and what we are. Today, as we continue on with the Mass, let us search ourselves. What is my motivation in doing things, especially in small matters? Am I trustworthy? How about great things? Will I can be trusted by that? Or I continue to be dishonest? And what is my main motivation? Is it because I have felt God's love so that I can change? Or is it a poverty, spiritual poverty, that I don't even feel God's love in me? So we come together for the Mass because we want to form communities of love that become missionaries of love because there's so much brokenness in this world. And we are here to measure up to the demands of Jesus, telling us, I love you. Do you love me? In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen. Please all rise.
Prayers of the faithful.